Welcome back to the week ahead here on SABC News. As you know, we're living in there's an app for that era where any task, problem or interest likely has a mobile software application, an app meant to respond to it. Well, in a year defined by innovation, one app rose above the rest, setting a new benchmark for South African excellence. Johannesburg played host this week to the highly anticipated 2025 FNB App of the Year Awards, and what an unforgettable night it turned out to be. And at the very top, crowned as the overall winner for 2025, was Vula Medical, an app that is reshaping healthcare by connecting medical professionals with speed, precision, and purpose. Well, this afternoon, I am joined by the visionary who helped bring this life-saving platform to the world, Dr. William Mapham, Vula Medical CEO. I'm also joined in the conversation by the FNB Business Development Head, Janis, Robson. Good afternoon to the both of you. We'll get into the conversation in just a moment. But first, let's get the full story from our producer, Sandile Hlangani, who attended the event and compiled this report for us.
And just like that, South Africa's brightest digital dream took center stage. It was a night where innovation didn't just shine, it ignited. The 2025 FNB App of the Year Awards lit up Johannesburg, celebrating the brilliance shaping our digital future. Rising above them all, the app that's saving lives in real time. Vula Medical was crowned the winner for FNB App of the Year Awards 2025.
I'm quite overwhelmed. Thank you so much for the recognition. It's a lot of hard work to get to where we are, and I just feel very lucky to have the app that makes the help patients on the ground and the health workers that work really, really hard. We're a small part of their day, and the fact that we have the opportunity to help them and giving that the recognition feels very lucky.
But the night belonged to many more innovators.
We developed an app that is predominantly for car wash townships. What the app does is it works as a dashboard. It works as a back office. There's a customer app and there's a business app. So the business app side, it works as a dashboard. It's able to collect data of all the customers. At the end of the day, like a car wash owner is able to know if they've got more female customers, more than male customers. They've got more people driving VW versus BMW, things like that. That sort of data, and they're able to use that data to prepare the space and market the space well.
The app helps the host to find vendors using our AI-powered system. So if you are hosting like a baby shower, you just go to our app and then you look for a vendor according to your budget. So it's going to help you through our AI-powered system to find like the closest vendors around you according to your budget. And then it's going to help you to also do your gift registry and wish list.
Mr. D is a three-way marketplace connecting end users, the consumer, as yourselves, with all of our retail and restaurant partners, as well as our drivers. So we are creating an environment for 15,000 drivers to be able to earn an income. So we have three verticals, namely the restaurant vertical, which most people are familiar with, as well as our partnership with Pick and Pay, where you're able to get groceries delivered to your door at in-store pricing, and shops as well. So we've got liquor, pets, gifting, you name it.
The people who make all this possible had their say too.
The FNB App Academy has been very successful over the last 2-year period. Last year we saw 17,000 applicants enter the academy. This year we were overwhelmed with 200,000 applicants. This produced 33,000 graduates, all qualifying with in-demand digital skills, from coding to app development to design, all signaling to the tech economy that we have young aspirant developers that are quite capable of solving real-world problems.
And that's how another year of brilliance wraps up. Ideas celebrated, future ignited.
All right, so that is all fascinating. Let's take the conversation forward. I'm joined by Janis Robson, as I said, FNB Business Development Head, and Dr. William Mapham, of Vula Medical. Let me start with you, Janis. I must say, I never really think much about the economy, the back end, to use the phrases that I heard there in that report, of what goes into developing these apps, how lively and alive is the app creation industry in South Africa. But the fact that you as FNB are even investing in an awards kind of process simply says you recognize that there's enough work, volume, but also quality that is going into it, such that there are people to recognize. Am I correct in reading it that way?
You are absolutely, firstly, afternoon to all of you, and you are absolutely correct. Our goal at FNB is inclusive growth. So we recognize that by supporting purpose-driven apps, we empower youth, we help create jobs, we uplift communities, and we strengthen essential services. Recognition gives these innovators credibility. It also opens up doors to partnerships and potential funders. For us, the FNB App of the Year Award is more than just accolades. It's about seeing these solutions scale and deliver real benefits to businesses and communities.
So, I mean, if I stick with you, Janis, what are some of the key issues? We talk about apps being there for problems, interests, and the likes. What are some of the key issues that tend to drive innovation, that tend to inspire people, the problems that in society people identify? There are at least two apps that, you know, in the recent while we've been talking about that are about safety. Vula, the one that was the overall winner, has to do with the medical space. But what are some of the themes that tend to inspire innovators?
So we've seen a real shift towards solving for hyperlocal challenges in healthcare, as you say, in safety, in education, as well as in transport. The apps that are being designed are for our realities, for South African lived realities, like offline first and low data usage. So it's really understanding the nuances that shape our communities and that drive our communities, and using those deep cultural insights to build and develop solutions that really move communities forward. We've also seen a surge in AI-powered features that focus on user experience and security. So I think the developers around the table understand exactly the challenges that the average South African faces, and their aim is to really try and bridge the divide and ensure that they build solutions that meet the actual need of the consumer, of the business owner, of the retailer. They're creating solutions that uplift communities and drive real inclusive growth.
Yeah, and in fact, just to correct myself there, and to the extent that perhaps I wasn't clear enough, when I said there are two that we know of, I'm pretty sure that I'm understating that there are more than two that have to do with the issues of safety. I suppose I was talking about the IRAS app that came out a few years ago, and there was one that we reported on that has been developed by a woman in Limpopo just recently, but I'm pretty sure there are far more than that. Right. Dr. Mapham, Vula Medical, the app. Tell me about it. Congratulations, firstly. And then tell me about the inspiration behind it, what problem you are seeking to solve.
Yeah, thank you so much. And the FNB Prize is a real tribute to the team with 10 of us looking after 42,000 health workers on the ground. And if I think back to where it started, my passion is rural healthcare. And I saw a patient in 2004 who had an eye condition. I didn't know exactly what it was as a junior doctor, so I wrote a letter and I said, please go to Mthatha. It's our nearest eye clinic and it's only 3 hours away. And I thought that he would then go and get help. But 7 years later, I went back to volunteer, but now as a specialist ophthalmologist. And he came back to me with the same letter that I'd written 7 years before. Unfortunately, he was so excited to see me, but he had gone blind in that eye. And looking at it as a specialist, I realized it was actually just a simple condition, had just gone untreated. And worst of all, we even had the medication he needed the first time I had seen him. And then later, when I was volunteering at the Vula Medical eye clinic in Swaziland as a specialist, I saw many patients coming in too late for us to do anything. And so I became determined to solve the problem for the rural healthcare workers and for the specialists so that more patients could get access to specialist care as quickly as possible. And luckily, we have new technologies like apps and the internet, obviously, and we've managed to combine that all to help more patients.
Yeah. Is this what we've been talking about, Dr. Mapham, about how more connectivity and coverage really of broadband and other technologies across the country can bridge the gap in terms of people having access to medical treatments? Is it called e-medicine? Is this what we've been talking about in essence?
Absolutely. I mean, connectivity, we did actually design Vula to work offline because there are deep valleys in the Transkei, for example, where it's unlikely ever to get reception. So we did design it to be used offline, but almost in a sense, connectivity, like you say, should be a human right. We should all be able to be connected because that really will enable anyone to access all the latest medical tools.
So in simple terms, if I stick with you a bit more, Dr. Mapham, in simple terms, if I'm sitting in, I don't know, Lochil in Mpumalanga, far away from the nearest tertiary hospital or something like that, and I have a condition that I'm not so certain about, what does this app enable me to do by way of getting clarity of what condition is this and where can I get help?
So it all starts off with, let's kind of reverse it. If you say, I am the patient and I'm coming to you, you're my nearest healthcare worker, whether you're a community healthcare worker or a nurse at a clinic or a doctor in a GP practice, and you come with a condition where that person doesn't know exactly what to do, then that doctor, like yourself, would then use Vula. They're connected to the local specialists on call, and then essentially you are now getting specialist guided healthcare very close to your home, but it's always delivered through the health system. So every time you visit your healthcare worker, they're going to get better and better because they're getting more and more specialist teaching every time they see patients.
Janis, let's talk about the pipeline of talent and innovators. You have an academy as FNB that specifically focuses on this area. How does that fit in within the kinds of skills that are required within the education system as well, to try and have that pipeline of innovators, people who are able to identify a problem and quickly work on a software app solution for it?
So thank you for the question. The FNB App Academy is a 9-week program that takes matriculants from, sometimes previously disadvantaged backgrounds, and it really aims to equip them with the right and in-demand digital skills, from coding to app development and to design skills. So throughout the program, it's not only exposure to skills learning and enhancement, but it also encompasses mentorship by experienced app developers, by seasoned entrepreneurs, and by industry leaders. So through the skills and learning and the mentorship, you're really building well-rounded individuals that can double-click into their critical thinking skills, understand the problems that need to be solved for, and really use their lived experiences to be able to solve that. Last year, we saw Matric Live being crowned the winner, and I think that speaks to how the team used the gaps in the education system to ensure that they equip grade 11 and grade 12 learners with just-in-time demand skills on platforms and interfaces that they are accustomed to and familiarized, in terms of working. So I think it's really just using what you know, coupled with the skills, and really honing that to be able to deliver what the end user needs.
I suppose, Janis, as a parting shot to you, I'm also in a way trying to get you to talk about the kind of policy conversations beyond what you do in the academy, but the kind of higher policy conversations we should be having about making STEM subjects accessible and taught better, and perhaps, creating a great deal of enthusiasm for those, but also technology-enabled education such that you've got a pipeline in the country of young people who are not daunted by technology, but look at technology and think, actually, I can use this to solve a problem that I know we have in my community.
Okay, so I'll take a stab at answering it more directly then. So as FNB Financial Services partner, I think our partnership with the App Academy and the App Awards is really just a demonstration of our commitment to partnering with private companies, institutions, to really close that gap. And I think what this calls for, this is an absolute movement, and it calls for the partnership of both public and private to close that divide. What we envision for the FNB App of the Year Awards is that this is an investment in youth. It's an investment in our continent. So we can expect more regional hackathons, more engagement at school level from the lower grades right through to matric. We can expect expanded training through the academy and deeper partnerships in the ecosystem. And that's where the public education system comes into play. And the ultimate goal and aim here is that we hope to make this the catalyst to ensuring that the App of the Year is the continent's leading hub of innovation, so that we can really start tackling African solution problems by Africans.
I like that. I like that answer. Dr. Mapham, let me come back to you. If I'm correct, you are a specialist ophthalmologist, and you're not necessarily an app designer. But you've had to, go in this direction because of a problem that you identified. What did this journey teach you that you can impart to other people, other professionals that are out there doing what you do? And also, importantly, what are your plans now that, you have the Vula app and it has won an award? What has it inspired in you to do going forward?
Yeah, it's not an easy journey. I'm not sure if I would recommend it for everyone. It does take a lot of hard work to get technology created. It's often more expensive to create than I initially thought. So you have to fundraise more than you had initially thought as well. And I think one of my friends said the secret to scaling is survival. So as long as you keep surviving, then eventually you will get somewhere. So I think a lot of persistence is required when you take on something like this. And I think going forward, we've solved a lot of problems in many parts of the country. We're looking forward to scaling more in Gauteng, which is a more kind of urban province. That's going to be a nice challenge for us, as well as going into new countries. So we're currently in a few countries. Zambia is the biggest one outside of South Africa, and definitely hoping to reach more people in more countries. I think that's going to be really exciting for us.
Yeah, just as by the way, Dr. Mapham, is there money to be made in all of this? And how easy is it to go from, I have an idea on paper, I've seen the problem, I've seen that an app can solve it, I've got an app developer that I can rope in, but I need an investor and scalability and getting to a point where you are realizing some kind of financial return while you're solving the original problem that you went out to solve?
Yeah, it's a great question, because in healthcare, the mantra is if you create value, the money will follow. So I think we've kind of followed that approach and made sure that we're as valuable as possible and delivering as much value for patients as possible over the last 12 years. And this has been a rough journey. We did manage to get some big contracts in the last 4 years, which kept us going. And so it does take a while to develop revenue in healthcare. I think some other apps are more kind of commercial or sort of fast-moving goods or immediate services will definitely generate revenue a lot faster than we did initially. But really excited to say that this Vula's now got a freemium model, so anyone in the health sector can use it at no cost. That helps us keep up the impact. And then for those that want additional features, there's options to have Vula Plus.
All right, I've got to thank both of you for having joined me this afternoon. That's Dr. William Mapham, Vula Medical CEO, as well as Janis Robson, who is Head of Business Development at FNB. That's how it's looking on this side of the hour. I'm back with more for you